Every single person alive today exists because of one moment, a moment that, for most of human history, could easily have killed both mother and child. There were no hospitals, no doctors, no painkillers, just a woman in a cave or under open sky, facing the most dangerous thing a human body can do. And here's what makes it stranger. Almost every other animal on Earth gives birth alone, quietly, without help. A chimpanzee mother walks off by herself and returns with a baby. Humans can't do that. Something happened in our evolution that made birth uniquely brutal, and it forced us to do something no other species does. Birth should be simple. It is for nearly every mammal. So why is it so hard for us? The answer is a trade-off buried deep in our bodies. One that started millions of years ago, the day our ancestors stood upright. Walking on two legs reshaped the human pelvis, and later our brains began to grow. Those two changes collided, and the result was a birth so difficult that we became the only species that routinely needs help to do it. But that danger also created something beautiful, because when birth became impossible to face alone, our ancestors invented one of the oldest human jobs in existence. Let's start with the problem. Most primates have a birth canal that's roughly a straight, roomy tube. The baby's head fits with space to spare. In humans, it's the opposite. Our birth canal is narrow, and worse, it changes shape along the way. Wide one direction at the entrance, wide the other direction at the exit. Which means a human baby can't just slide out. It has to twist, rotate, turn its head and shoulders mid-journey to squeeze through. It's less like a doorway and more like a puzzle. Scientists call this the obstetrical dilemma. Bipedalism narrowed the pelvis, and growing brains made the head bigger. Two forces pulling in opposite directions, and the evidence goes back astonishingly far. Fossil pelvises from Australopithecus, Lucy species over 3 million years old, already show a tight fit between the mother's pelvis and the infant's head, even though their brains were small. Which suggests something profound. Difficult birth may be older than our genus itself. So how did our ancestors survive it? Evolution found a workaround, one that changed everything about being human. Human babies are born early, functionally premature. Compared to other primates, a human newborn arrives helpless. It can't walk, can't cling, can't hold its own head up. A baby monkey grips its mother's fur within minutes. A human baby can't survive an hour alone. Being born too soon means the head is still small enough to pass through, but it also means the baby needs constant care for years. And that leads to the second workaround: help. Because human birth involves rotation, the baby often emerges facing away from the mother, making it far harder for her to guide it out safely by herself. Other primates give birth in seclusion. Humans reach for someone. Anthropologists believe this is the origin of midwifery, possibly one of the oldest human roles that exists, older than farming, older than cities, maybe older than language itself. The first profession may simply have been someone who helps a baby be born. Here's a twist you might not expect. Birth may not have always been this dangerous. Parts of it likely got worse with civilization. When humans took up farming, diets shifted to heavy carbohydrates. People grew shorter with smaller frames, while babies grew fatter in the womb. And the archaeology is chilling. Hunter-gatherer burial sites contain relatively few infant skeletons, while farming settlements contain far more. Settling down may have made birth deadlier. And a note of honesty, not all scientists agree on every part of this. Some researchers argue the obstetrical dilemma has been overstated and that much of birth's difficulty comes from modern lifestyles. The debate is alive. But no one disputes the core fact. Human birth is uniquely hard and uniquely social. So why does this matter to you? Because you were born helpless and you survived anyway. That is only possible because humans do something rare in nature. We surround the vulnerable. Our babies are the most defenseless on Earth, and that weakness forced us to become cooperative, patient, deeply bonded creatures. Long childhoods gave us time to learn, to be taught, to build culture. Our biggest strength, our brain, is the very thing that made our birth so dangerous. And the only reason it worked is that someone was always there to help. Every human alive is proof that our ancestors didn't face that moment alone. So the next time you hear a newborn cry, remember what that sound really means. It's the end of the most dangerous journey a human body makes, one our species has survived against the odds for hundreds of thousands of years. In a dark cave by firelight, a woman fought through it, and beside her, another human held her hand, waited, and caught the child. No medicine, no science, just hands and courage and the refusal to let her go through it alone. That is where every one of us comes from. If this gave you a new respect for how we all got here, subscribe. Every week, we bring the forgotten world of ancient humans back to life. And tell me in the comments, does it surprise you that humans are the only species that needs help giving birth? I read every reply.